Ayo, back at it again with another video. Thank you all so much for watching. A lot of my videos have been doing pretty great lately, so thank you all for liking and engaging and watching and supporting the content. So again, appreciate it. Love you all very much. So this video is all about a libertarian in the White House. Now, obviously, within our two-party system, it's between Democrats and Republicans. But what if somehow, a third party slips in, and that could be libertarian, that could be, somehow the two-party system collapses and forms into different parties. How would libertarians potentially come to power in the White House? I feel like there are a handful of states that I think libertarians would do very well in. So I feel like Texas is like the epitome of like libertarianism. Like they vote Republican, but I feel like if Texas had a choice between Republican and vote Libertarian, I feel like Texas would vote more along the lines of libertarianism. I feel like states like Ohio would do really well for libertarians. Same with Pennsylvania. There's a lot of voters, especially in the rural areas of Pennsylvania, that vote Republican, but I feel that could definitely vote libertarian if they so choose. Wisconsin is another state that I feel libertarians would do really well in. I feel like if libertarians were a viable party, I think they'd get a lot of vote share here in Wisconsin. I think they get a lot of votes here in the Southwest, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada. I feel like they would do really well down here in the Southwest, especially Arizona, Nevada, with pretty sizable vote share in Colorado. I don't think Utah would vote libertarian. I think they're pretty solid red state. I feel like libertarians would do really well here in the South. I think like Florida would be a really good, spot for libertarians if they were, one of our major parties. I feel like they do also well in Georgia and North Carolina. I think they could do it. Also, I think they would do very well in Tennessee, do very well in Kentucky, Missouri, Iowa, even West Virginia to an extent. West Virginia is one of those states that's really trended red lately, but I think if the two parties potentially were to collapse, I feel like West Virginia would definitely be a state that that libertarians could do really well in. I feel like they do well in South Carolina, even Indiana to an extent. The Libertarian finished second in the governor's race in 2020, so I feel that Libertarians would do really well in the state of Indiana. I think Libertarians would also do really well up here in New England, states like New Hampshire, even Maine to an extent could, be swayed. Maybe Vermont, but I don't know. Vermont's one of those states that's, you never really know. They're very, nationally Democrat, but, they have a Republican governor, so you never really know about Vermont. I feel like libertarians would do really well on the plains, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, even Wyoming. Up to 269. So you would need one more vote to lock in the presidency. Which state do we want to do to get over the hump? I think Montana for sure. I think Montana would do really well for libertarians. I think there's other states. I think Idaho would be good, but I think Idaho's pretty solidly red. Same with Utah. I think Alaska's pretty solid red. All the other states: Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico, Hawaii, pretty solidly blue. Idaho, Utah, Alaska, pretty solidly red. I feel like Minnesota would stay pretty solidly blue. Illinois would stay pretty solidly blue. States up here would stay pretty solidly blue. New York, New Jersey, down to DC would stay pretty blue or red. But yeah, I feel like libertarians would do really, really well down in the South, down in the the Rocky Mountains area, Southwest, the Plains. I feel like they do really, really well, especially here in the Midwest, states like Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I feel like I think libertarianism has a lot of opportunities if, they just stop being a joke of a party and actually, be serious about it. I feel like they have plenty of opportunities. I think they even do really, really well in Michigan. I think, there's a lot of voters, especially in the rural parts of the area, the state, just like Pennsylvania, that would, that could definitely vote libertarian. So, this could potentially, be states that if libertarians became a viable party, that I think they do pretty well in. States like, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, I think could also be states they do well in. Even Idaho, Utah, to an extent. There's a lot of, states that could go to the libertarians, or states that have a lot of votes go for libertarian candidates. So, yeah, I feel like libertarians could absolutely be a viable third party, but unfortunately, at this point in time, libertarians are more the butt end of, memes and jokes, because most of the libertarian debates are just absolutely unhinged. So, yeah, there's plenty of states that could potentially, have a lot of votes for libertarians, or even vote libertarian. So, yeah, this would, a potential map of a libertarian win in the White House. This is, that's a, interesting scenario to contemplate. But yeah, that is the end of the video. What would a, libertarian in the White House potentially look like? And what states would they do decent in? What states would they win? How would the map sort of look? It would there would have to be a lot working in their favor. A potential breakup of the two-party system, maybe. There's a race of like 4 or 5 different candidates. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, maybe like a progressive party on the left, maybe like a conservative party on the right. That'd be interesting for sure. So, with that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Deuces.